Hi, I'm John, founder of the John Voirol Group and your St. Louis area realtor. I help families buy and sell historic homes every day. So when it comes to inspections and old home issues, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today, I'd like to share with you 5 things you can do to make sure you don't inherit any of the ugly stuff when you're buying your historic home. So let's get started. Here are 5 tips to make sure your historic home inspections go well. Number 1, do a sewer inspection. During that inspection, a small camera is passed through the sewer lateral underneath the house into the yard and then out to the city main. This allows you to see what kind of pipes you have underneath the house, usually cast iron, and what kind is in the yard. Most often we see clay. Cast iron can get brittle and crumbly over time. It's not uncommon to see holes or cracks in it. Clay pipes out in the yard are in 2-foot sections, and where they join together with one another, it's very common for tree roots to grow through that joint and into the lateral, which can ultimately cause a blockage. Sewer lateral repairs can run anywhere from $1,000 up to many $1,000s, depending on how much digging and concrete work has to be done. Number 2, have a certified roofer come out to the house and give you a complete evaluation of the roof. This is especially important if you're buying an historic home that has an historic roof, usually 100+ years old and most often made of slate tile or clay tile. Those are very expensive, very complex roofing systems that can cost upwards of 6 figures to replace the roof entirely. So you want to understand whether or not there are any imminent issues with that roofing system before you take possession of the home. Now, if you're buying a house that has an asphalt shingle roof, I would suggest having your whole home inspector, your primary inspector, let you know during their inspection day whether or not they think the roof is in a condition that requires an expert roofer's opinion before you spend the money on that. Number 3, perform a gas inspection. During this inspection, someone will come out to the house and first make sure that all of the gas lines are holding pressure. So they'll connect a device to it that allows them to see whether or not gas is seeping out of the line anywhere, and if possible, they'll locate that leak so you can ask the seller to fix it. The other thing they'll do is evaluate the gas-powered appliances, such as a furnace, a water heater, a gas stove, to make sure that they're operating correctly, not leaking any gas, and meet current building codes. Number 4, tuck pointing. This one assumes that you're buying a house built out of brick, as many of our historic homes in St. Louis are, and tuck pointing refers to the process of repairing or replacing the mortar joints between the rows of brick on the exterior of the home. What happens is over time, those mortar joints become crumbly and start to fall out from in between the bricks, and you end up with recesses that hold water and cause deterioration. In order to repair tuck pointing that's in bad condition, the existing mortar has to be ground out, usually to 1 inch deep, and then filled back in. And if you're doing this on a home that is a couple of stories high, it may require scaffolding, which greatly increases the cost of this repair. So not only do you want to pay very close attention to the condition of the tuck pointing before you write the contract while you're looking at the house, but also discuss it with your home inspector while you're there. And if it seems like it may need some attention, it would be in your best interest to have a mason come out to the house to give you a bid on what it might cost to get the tuck pointing back into tip-top shape. Number 5, do a radon test. Now, radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that happens to cause lung cancer. It's not something you want to have in your house. The good news is you can test for it, and it's not too expensive to have a mitigation system installed. They typically run about $1,000. Radon test devices measure the amount of radon in the air for a 48-hour period and let you know whether or not the amount of radon is at a safe level or not. And if it isn't, you then get to provide the seller with a copy of that inspection report and ask them to install a mitigation machine on your behalf. Well, there you have it. 5 tips to help you make sure your historic home inspections go well. If you have any questions about what I've shared with you here, or buying or selling a home in the St. Louis area, you can click below to go to our website where you can send us a message.